Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to Randomania 2 alongside JJ Schmidt 77 and Up to NG. I'm Ferran Burgundy, and we are bringing out all the big guns for this huge quad matchup. Well, technically two one-on-one matchups here, as we have Highspirits against LordOfTheSynth, a little bit of a revenge grudge match for LordOfTheSynth after being bested by Highspirits in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Chaos Tournament earlier this year. And Datyedyeguy taking on Jackimus. They are two one-on-one matchups of the first round of the Swiss seed of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament. And we certainly have a goodie here. Gentlemen, where do we start with this one here?
Well, it's a good mix. We've got a couple longtime veterans here with Jack and Highspirits. It'll be interesting to see kind of their strategy versus some of the newer players.
So the one thing we can notice on this screen is Jackimus prefers strength agility, as noted by the big L. Looks like everyone else might be going strength HP.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that as the action goes along here, as there's certainly a lot to get into. Now, the object of Dragon Warrior, well, our racers are going to be finding and defeating the evil Dragon Lord, and they'll be collecting certain key items to trade in for the Rainbow Drop, which will allow them to enter the Charlotte Castle, home of the Dragon Lord. We'll also be fighting enemies one at a time to gain experience and levels to get stronger, as well as gold to purchase weapons, armor, and items to help in their quest. A whole bunch of stuff is randomized in Dragon Warrior, and we'll get into it as we go along here, because we are getting ready to start. The king is giving the instructions. We're going to find out what helpful items will be in the first 3 treasure chests. We've got an herb that'll heal some hit points. We've got another herb, and we've got the obligatory magic key. Not the greatest of starts, but we'll see how that works along here.
Huge strength score to start, which is a relief considering the lack of spells and items here. Looked like 25 strength, so they can go out and fight some medium strength enemies already. Could be a quick start.
As you see already, Highspirits taking on, and as well as Datyedyeguy taking out a Drakey. And now we're going to already get level 2 here for Datyedyeguy.
And I've always remembered this about Jackimus. He likes to do very early exploration to see if he can go out and find a cave and find an early Erdrick sword.
And Jackimus, well, taking on a Warlock, trying to run away and not able to, as now Highspirits getting up to level 2.
I feel like the Magician is right in the sweet spot. They have fairly low defense on their level 1. So Magicians, maybe Magidrake, Scorpions for a couple of levels, and then they'll try and move up to some stronger monsters.
On another Magician getting a level here, and we've got Heal and Repel at level 3.
Having a heal spell early is fantastic, so that could get them going on some earlier exploration so that they can actually survive if they can heal up after battle.
Yeah, I always like to see Repel, get that out of the way early too. Especially we're seeing good strength right out of the gate and just good stats overall, so Repel's a good one to have in your pocket.
And as far as as you can see, the different statistics are randomized, as now Datyedyeguy going up to level 4, and wow, 15 hit points gained on it.
Seems to be kind of a long and narrow map so far. I think the cave was off to the west. I couldn't identify which one it was. Jackimus found some enemies in there. So it's not Tablet Cave. It's one of the other caves.
And now level 3 on LordOfTheSynth side.
It's a small detail early, but Highspirits and Datyedyeguy are getting in a lot more kills earlier, where Jack took that risk that Up to talking about. That can kind of explode as the seed goes on. can either not matter, or it could be a big thing right from the start, falling behind.
Yeah, you noticed that Datyedyeguy was able to defeat the Warlock because he had level 3 stats. When Jackimus found the Warlock, he was still on level 1 and was not able to win that fight. So just, you know, some early success for Datyedyeguy, and this is the Grave, as he does have the Radiant spell now. So he'll go for those 3 quick chests, see if the sword is in there, perhaps.
Yeah, Radiant and Outside attained at level 5, which is where both Datyedyeguy and Highspirits are. And they have found, as you had mentioned, Datyedyeguy has found Garen's Grave. Yeah, things kind of going very fast and furious here.
It's kind of interesting when the strength score kind of outpaces your defense. It feels like you want to fight some of these enemies, but they can hit you a little bit harder than you expect right now, until they get just a couple more levels.
However, not quite enough to take on and out a Magiwyvern, and the Datyedyeguy is going to get sent back, costing half his gold.
I think there were 2 caves off to the west, so I'm not sure if both of them have been checked out by our players yet, but we have seen the Grave so far. If they can get to those top 3 chests, that could be significant. And we'll have to wait and see what the other cave is over there.
Meanwhile, we've learned that the Droll has the baby dragon breath that usually does about 20 hit points of damage, and Jackimus has run into our old friend, the Fun Police, the Red Dragon, one of the toughest enemies in the game, and usually when they show up, the fun tends to stop.
And so while we're watching these first few levels, you can see that all 4 of our runners are going with a different sprite. That's one of the new changes that's been made. A lot of additional options. I think Highspirits looks like he's going with Talon from Dragon Warrior 4. I believe we have a Dragon Warrior 4 Heroine. And the one that the Datyedyeguy is using, I guess that's a quiz for the viewers because I'm not familiar with that one.
And meanwhile, the Datyedyeguy has acquired the Silver Harp, and Highspirits is about to as well from the top of the Grave.
I think that's the male fighter from Dragon Warrior 3. I might be wrong about that.
So Tracker noting the harp has been attained by Highspirits. That's one of the 3 quest items. Fantastic progress there.
As well as the Datyedyeguy getting it, and is also going up to level 6 with, not great stats on level 6. Now, in Garen's Grave, there are 2 more treasure chests, but they are behind locked doors, and since none of our runners have any magic keys, they're going to have to look into coming back to it later. As the Datyedyeguy enters the other cave, which is the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave. So access to a free treasure chest here. And it's the Cursed Bell. Bit of a whammy.
It's a bit of a whammy, but this early on, I don't know about you, JJ, but I might go actually in there and pick up 3 or 4 of those because you could sell those off, and as soon as they eventually find a town, they could maybe work up enough money that way to get a hand axe, for example.
Yeah, something like that can be an edge, a good piece of armor, or weaponry, depending on. We haven't looked at I haven't looked at their stats in a second or 2 here, but everything looked pretty good. But those little things help.
Well, having the gold from the Garen's Grave certainly helping as well, and each of those cursed belts selling for 180, that can possibly even get some of our runners, if they use 3 or 4 of them, get them up to broadsword territory if they want to increase their weaponry. But already with the strength that they have, it's kind of hard to say how they're going to go. And Smashy, thank you for noting that in chat. Wraith Knight's having the Hurt spell.
So Highspirits has turned towards the north, and he finds the Jerk Cave, and now we have another cave for Highspirits, and he has about over 1,000 gold saved up, doing a nice job of topping off with his heal spell after every battle, so he hasn't taken too many deaths, and this is the Tablet Cave now.
So the tablet cave having no enemy encounters, this is just a matter of navigating the maze-like path. And at the end, there is a treasure chest that can have some random item, as the treasure chests as well as search spot contents are all randomized here in Dragon Warrior Randomizer. And we have the Fairy Flute.
That's always good just to get information-wise. You may never use it, but it helps you kind of plan out the whole rest of your seed, get something like that in the chest.
Yeah, absolutely. That means one of our 3 search spots is going to be empty in this one.
And those 3 search spots being in the town of Cole, the town of Hawksnest, and potentially on the overworld as well.
And a comment in chat, now we know that the token is on a search spot. I don't think that's the case anymore, at least. I think that you can actually have 2 empty search spots. The token and the flute could both be in chests. Except for the fact that we did find a cursed belt in the chest. So maybe that's what he was referring to there. I think that may give the information that the token is on a search spot, correct, JJ? The combination of those 2 facts?
I believe so, yeah.
Well, we shall certainly see. I just was under the presumption that if both the Fairy Flute and the Erdrick's token were in treasure chests, then 2 of those 3 search spot items would be vacant.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, although I don't know if McGrew's watching, maybe he can confirm. I believe it's been programmed so that if those items are in a chest, that they replace the cursed belt items. So if we found a cursed belt in a chest already, then the token, I guess, does have to be in a search spot if all that is correct. So we'll see which of our 4 runners has that detail of knowledge about the game if they have to choose one direction over the other. Let's say if the mountain cave or the remaining search spot, let's say the town of Cole or something, you may want to go in one direction or the other. Maybe skip the mountain cave and look for Cole in that specific scenario, for example. So if they all have that level of knowledge about the game, then that could come into play.
I have to out myself that is not something I would think of in a seed, but I do recall that conversation going on as to what gets replaced when the... I'm pretty sure that's accurate. I don't see anybody jumping out in chat, but that's definitely something maybe Highspirits would be one that I could see, not to downplay the other 3, but that's quite a detail to pull out confidently during a race.
And just refreshing here, looks like we have the Hurtmore spell at level 7.
Ooh, that's a really nice time to learn the Hurtmore spell, right as the levels are getting a little bit further apart and you're kind of done fighting those smaller enemies. That's a great time to learn Hurtmore so they can start one-shotting Magiwyvern, Knights, possibly Green Dragons and Axe Knights for, triple-digit experience. I guess it's the town of Cantlin that is south of Charlotte Castle. Is that the only town we've seen so far?
That is correct. Although we do have the mountain cave up on Lord of the Synth screen. 2 chests so far open, both containing torches.
Yeah, nobody yet has access to keys, I believe, either. So, they may have to go back and revisit Cantlin for those coordinates later on. So that's one of the things they would like to find in these chests now in the mountain cave. There's a couple of magic keys that could be found in a chest, as well as potentially finding the town of Rimmildar if all else fails. So he is almost all the way through finding these chests in the mountain cave. And there it is, in the last chest. We have a key for Lord of the Synth.
That's big. That's always big, being one of the first ones that has a key.
check out this town on Highspirits screen. It's like a Panama Canal over here.
So Lord of the Synth opting to use the key in Cantlin and is going to check out the shop. Opt not to get anything, and ideally, yep, going to head on over and get some pricey keys, but keys nonetheless.
I hadn't noticed, but it looks like Jack's up to level 7 as well, so that early exploration didn't cost him. He's actually in the experience lead right now.
Yep, the Datyedyeguy just about 20 to 25 points away from level 7. He's going to get there as quickly as possible because that's when Hurt More is learned. And you can fall behind here if you can't get Hurt More while your opponent is getting some high value kills under his belt. So the Droll will almost get him there. I guess he's maybe one good kill away now.
Yeah, I noticed that Datyedyeguy had just got wrecked by an Axe Knight. If he had just one more level, he would have been just fine.
And coordinates here.
Oh, Will Wagner in chat saying Jack caught a metal slime to make up that difference.
That's a good way to do it.
That is the great equalizer.
Yeah, what do you think about these coordinates? 18 north, 51 west. Seems like it may be on the first continent. It kind of goes off to the west from Tanteagle. I would expect a couple of our runners to maybe attempt to count that out without getting the princess. It's a little bit right on the borderline of kind of a long walk, but I think it's sort of straight west from Tanteagle and might be countable.
Yeah, with Repel and Hurt More, I would hope, as long as it's not something that's blocked, I would hope they'd all be able to count that out.
So now the Datyedyeguy up to level 7 and is going to be thrilled to see Hurt More.
Lord of the Synth, remember he has keys, so now we'll get to see what's in the back of Garenham now as well. So he's kind of tracing behind Highspirits' footsteps. And he's found it. And I wonder at what point he wants to go and make that count, because if you can get an early Erdrick's armor, that could really propel you forward as well.
Yeah, that defense, especially from Hurt More and Fire Breath, is kind of the missing piece that they have right now.
It's actually 2 gold chests in the backside of Garenham. You could potentially do a slow grind. It'll cost you a key each time. But depending on what it was in that shop, let's say if there was a full plate in that shop, for example, you might want to pop back in there a couple of more times and just grab that.
Oh, we've got the Staff of Rain Cave. So trading in the Silver Heart for the Staff of Rain is Lord of the Synth. So that is one of the 3 essential items needed to acquire the Rainbow Drop. And one thing to nicely get out of the way as well.
And as far as that upper race goes, remember Highspirits is going head-to-head with Lord of the Synth. Highspirits has now also found Mountain Cave. So if he can get to the last chest before he dies in this cave, he will also have keys now, and so he won't be too far behind from that perspective of Lord of the Synth, if he can make it there.
And you know Lord of the Synth wants this one. In the first bracket stage of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Chaos Tournament earlier this year, these 2 went head-to-head, and Highspirits not only went on to beat Lord of the Synth, but went to take the entire Chaos Championship. So, Lord of the Synth with a little bit of a revenge factor in this one.
Yeah, so there was a full plate and a magic armor available in the shop there. I'm curious if he is going to maybe go back in. There's two gold chests behind this door. He may decide not to. I didn't catch if he bought anything in there. I think he must have, based on his gold total. He must have bought something in there. I don't know if there was a hand axe, maybe.
And we're getting confirmation it was a copper sword, a dragon scale, and a leather armor that was purchased on Jackimus' side.
Muldar up on Lord of the Synth side there. Which he already had keys, but at least one more chest to check.
He's actually low on keys now, though, because he went into Cantlin and he went into Garenham, and now he's spent 2 more keys in here, so he may want to go around there and refresh.
Yeah, we saw Lord of the Synth down to 2 keys at the moment, and is going to purchase the small shield that's going to add 4 defense points to his total.
So Jackimus, on the other hand, had not had keys yet, and he has found Rimuldar, and so this is his way of getting keys for the first time now. And is Highspirits going to make it to this last chest? He's getting low on resources. Oh, he's already gotten it. He's looking for a death warp now, it looks like.
Not a bad strategy, as not only is he able to get back to the castle with the death warp and already having opened the 5 chests, he'll be able to use that magic key in Tanagel Castle, open up the top door, purchase more magic keys, and then head into the treasury to theoretically have any of the 4 chests be a gold grind.
Absolutely, I like this strategy. Meanwhile, he's getting some pretty good kills in here, and he's up to level 9 now. Quite the experience lead now over his opponent, Lord of the Synth. And then we might get to see what's in the treasury if he warps back there. So, let's see. He looks like he may be able to take down 1 or 2 more of these Magic Wyverns, since he does have hurt more, but no.
A lot on, but looks like Jack's down in Hawkness right now. So we know that's a 50-50 shot, unless I missed something. $50-50 shot of having an important item.
Yeah, absolutely. If we have the armor and the token on a search spot, then there's a pretty good shot at one of those being here. And if it's like an Axe Knight, he'll have a good shot at taking it down. If it's something more like a Golem or a Red Dragon, he's probably going to have to run away and come back later. Ooh, Armored Knight.
AK-47.
Yeah, with the double hurt more, he could take this down and check this spot now. And we're going to get the treasury on Highspirits side as well.
Well, Lord of the Synth is already open. It looks like we've got an herb in the top spot. In the middle spot, we have Erdrick's sword, the best sword in the game. Bottom left has the death necklace, and the bottom right does have gold, so a gold grind can be in place.
Wow, so Highspirits gets the sword and the gold grind on the same swoop. It's a fantastic play.
And what was in the search spot? It was the armor, according to Wolfman 2000. Thank you. That's a nice find for Jackimus.
Now, the way a gold grind works is that chests respawn every time you go to the overworld map, but due to the programming limitations at the time the game was made, the game only tracks up to 8 chests at a time as opened. So every chest opened beyond that can be taken over and over again. And as you saw Highspirits done, that the 5 chests within the mountain cave, he opened those up. Death warp back to the castle, so it didn't go to the overworld. And then the 3 treasure chests in the throne room, they're counted as opened already, so you don't keep respawning those and trying to take from them after the initial start. So that was 8 chests there, and now the 9th chest is any of the ones that are in there, and they can just keep being taken over and over and over again to get 50 to 750 gold, or 500 to 750 gold at a time. And in the time that I've explained that, Highspirits has done that and is cashed in for over 23,000 gold.
Yep, absolutely. That'll be enough for a silver shield and a magic armor. If he has seen both of those, he will be heading over there directly. And meanwhile, the Datyedyeguy did get the magic key from the mountain cave, and he has taken a death. So we can look for him to do something very similar to what Highspirits did. Go ahead and get the rest of your keys from the shop, and then come back, raid the treasury, and initiate a gold grind. And he is saving his progress, so I'm not sure if he's maybe not going to go to the shop first. Oh, he is. Okay. So his path has diverged with Jackimus, who is now getting the chests from the backside of Garenham. Jackimus has not yet been back to Tantegel, so he doesn't have the sword, but he does have that armor that no one else has. And if you look at the rest of our three runners with such a small amount of defensive equipment, that armor that Jackimus has helps you in so many ways. It heals you up while you're walking around. You can defense break a lot more enemies than your opponent. Just the survivability of not taking as many deaths on the overworld. See how long he can use that to his advantage before the Datyedyeguy uses the sword to his advantage.
Now, interestingly enough, with the finding of Erdrick's armor in Hawksness by Jackimus, that means by process of elimination, we know that the overworld item is Erdrick's token.
So for all intents and purposes, we're down to finding the stones and grinding up a few more levels and getting it done, basically. And we're 25 minutes into the seed.
And is the only one to have checked the coordinates still LordOfTheSynth? And I don't believe he's counted it out. I wonder if he's waiting to find the princess. Highspirits on his way there now to get the coordinates for himself, and I expect Highspirits to attempt to count this out.
See, Jack's got the sword, but he already has a large shield, and he didn't appear to be... Well, I guess he wasn't straight dead from the mountain cave, but it'll be interesting.
Jackimus just is getting trolled by this NPC. He just can't get to the key shop.
Oh my gosh, he is stubborn.
It's a nightmare because you can't exit Tantegel in that situation because you'd lose your opportunity for the gold grind. You just literally have to wait for the guy to get out of the way. And now when he's going back over to the treasury, he'll still be in the way. Well, he's going to check the basement first. My goodness.
Yeah, I didn't catch how Jackimus died, but I don't... Either he hadn't set up a gold grind or he's not interested in it.
Okay. Yeah, because that would just be brutal if the one guard there just stays in your way. So the Datyedyeguy does have the gold grind going, and yeah, and he just picked up the sword, so he'll just take about the same amount of gold as Highspirits did. I assume he has seen silver shield and magic armor already as well.
Ooh, and werewolves have Dragonlord breath.
I'm not sure that LordOfTheSynth 7 was hurt more, right? There he goes. Okay, he tried to run from that knight. I wasn't sure if he knew he had hurt more.
It looks like quick experience be high spirits. Wow, nice. Up here. And stacking this path.
Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties with some of the mics, I guess. Bad luck that mine's the one that still works. But we'll try to get this figured out in the backside here. So we see Highspirits and Cole, and we all know there's nothing there. Spoiler alert. But he must not have checked the coordinates yet, so we can kind of check that off. That's something Highspirit still needs to circle back and do. And let's see. Jackimus kind of racking experience. I'd have to compare it to Highspirits. I know Jackimus is a little ahead of that guy, at least one level here, and continues to rack it up on that second continent. Meanwhile, Highspirits and Datyedyeguy look like they're in about the same spot. A big grassy inlet. Just not good. You'd prefer to see. If you're trying to grind while exploring, grass is not great. Jackimus is really converting the early armor find a lot better than, I guess, the others here. It does make it a lot easier. I mean, it's not just defense, it's all the other brokenness of the armor that does it. So in the meantime, we're going to see if Wolfman's mic works while we still continue to troubleshoot up to and Ferran. Are you there with me, Wolfman?
I am now. Thank you again, JJ Schmidt, for keeping the hot seat warm. Right now we have... Ooh, I believe Jackimus has just gained a new level there.
Yeah, he's in the experience lead and he has all the equipment. We're still down the stones, at least unless we've missed anything.
I believe...
LordOfTheSynth.
I think we did miss a stone pickup on LordOfTheSynth side. May have been Garen's grave, because they didn't have the magic key earlier.
Yep, that makes sense.
Sorry about that, guys. Looks like my audio is causing problems.
Oh, well, there we go. That sounded pretty clear there.
Yeah, I finally noticed. Yep, yeah, it looks better on my end, so... And there's been a lot going on here as well, so it's shaping up to be some good races we got going.
Yeah,
all this swamp that Highspirits has been trudging through with without the Erdrick's armor here. So he's been able to explore, and it looks like he's trying to count out that long coordinates off to the west.
I have said it every time I've rolled a seed. I swear I did not put on Big Swamp.
Man, there was a lot of swamp, but maybe Big Swamp is even more swamp. I don't know. use that setting very often. That seems like it would be super frustrating. Alright, so we have the silver shield purchased by Lord of the Synth. I think he must know where the magic armor is. He's going towards a different town, but he might get sniped by a red dragon in between without having purchased the armor that he wants. Let's see how he manages to deal with the red dragon. He goes for a hurt more on a red dragon. That is not going to work very often.
That's the definition of desperation.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Hurtmore will not even kill a red dragon. It has too many hit points for that, so yeah, just better off trying to run there. So I guess now he might still have enough gold for the full plate, but not for the magic armor at this point. There was one town that had them both in the same shop, so...
Highspirits just sniped those coordinates.
Nicely done. So the token was there, correct? So Highspirits has the token now.
And all our theories were confirmed. Highspirits searched coal and found nothing, so everything is present and accounted for.
And so the stones has only been found by Lord of the Synth. Where were those again? Was that on the bottom portion of the grave?
It was behind the locked keys in the grave. It was the fourth chest, so it wasn't deep in Garen's grave, but it was midway there. And hopefully I don't sound like Robo Burgundy anymore.
I hear ya. Welcome back. I was having the same problem, apparently.
I just needed to give my my connection a little scotch, and we were good to go.
Did you visit Six Town and get uncursed?
Well, of course. I mean, where else would I go? It's got to be Six Town. It's the place to be, at least just for me.
So Highspirits has found the grave now, and this will be his last quest item. If he can make it down to that fourth chest, he's gone straight through the locked door now. He's on his way there directly.
In trading places, Jackimus is getting the coordinates right now.
He's doing it the easy way. He has the armor equipped, so he can just go right across that damage tile there. Gets the information. I would expect Jackimus to count this out as well.
I agree. The old school guys, before there were two continents, it was more of a badge of honor, as I recall.
That's right. I do remember. And look at how Jackimus counts, by the way. He goes 5 tiles at a time. It's a very quick counting method.
But how does it work whenever you enter the peninsula tile? Well, I guess Jackimus just showed us.
The early versions of Randomizer had, the maps were generated differently. They used to be more of a large, sort of blocky continent where there wasn't much in between unless you ran into mountains here and there. So you could usually count in almost all directions. Now the continents seem to be sort of spiral-shaped and sort of thin little pathways branching off in different directions, and now there's 2 continents. So oftentimes these counts are more difficult now. But this one has been countable now by Highspirits and Jackimus so far, I believe, or is Jackimus still hunting around for it?
I think
he found it.
Alright, so token for Jackimus, he's now the first... Oh, I guess Highspirits as well then? Or did Highspirits die? Well, Jackimus has all 3 quest items now, in any case.
And Highspirits has the rainbow drop. I saw him pick that up, so he has everything.
Just like that, Jackimus is in Sharlock. There we go.
But I don't think we've seen Healmore yet, have we?
We have not at level 11 here, and Lord of the Synth getting to level 9 by smashing a metal slime into 101 pieces.
I gotta say, that would be the ultimate insult in this seed if we have to wait till 16 to get Healmore.
So we see a princess rescued by Datyedyeguy, so we see a difference in strategies here. He's going to take her back to the castle. And not sure if he actually has the coordinates yet, or if he's just doing this on the way, but he will have the princess for the item that will direct him towards those overworld coordinates.
That's the old school versus new school that we talked about when we kicked this thing up. It's just one of the examples.
Perhaps Jackimus just trying to take a peek and see what the first couple of zones had to offer with enemy sets. Now he has more information and has a couple of other options for his grind. He has been to Hawksness, obviously, and that was, what was that, an Armored Knight?
Right. So, what anyone catching their max MP is right now? You're gonna need a lot if you're gonna try to grind an Armored Knight.
Well, stats are up now, so looks like Jackimus has plenty of attack power.
Yeah, there's a town just a few steps away from Hawksness, though, so wouldn't be too bad if he just went with the double hurt more strategy. If you had pretty good attack power, which it looks like Jackimus has, you can sometimes fight on your first turn and use hurt more on your second turn, and that sometimes is enough to take it down, and you could save yourself a little bit of MP that way. See how that goes. If he continues to gain attack power, he might do it that way.
It's to level 12. Good lord, we're at 135 now, if I saw that right. At level 12.
You are correct. That is a green number. That means the attack power is definitely in Dragon Lord 2 killing range.
Yeah, Jackimus is now swole thanks to that level 12 gain.
Yeah, you can see that his HP is a little bit behind his opponents because he's the one of our forerunners that's on the strength agility build. So in theory, he would like to have a few more hit points before fighting the Dragon Lord, but he's actually getting close. I think he'll probably go one more level, but he's getting close to ready. A little bit more MP would be nice.
They gotta get heal more. That's gonna be the problem. Because I bet Highspirits could probably make a run at level 12 when he gets there. Because he has the shield to make up for the agility, and he has the bonus hit points.
So we never saw Jackimus do a grind, correct? Because he got the early armor, and then he at some point went to the treasury and got the sword. So he maybe just didn't bother taking the time to do the grind for the silver shield. So I expect at this stage of the game, he probably will never bother getting it now. And so he is on an agility build, so that gives him a little bit more defense power than he would have otherwise. But it's usually not quite enough to make up for the lack of a silver shield. So he'll be a little bit low on defense power. But like you said, he needs heal more, but he might be one level away if level 13 happens to have heal more. And he actually might be going right now while he's using up some magic, so I know in the past Jackimus is notorious for doing really risky and early dives through Sharlock in race situations. See if this is one of those situations. He hasn't used any of his MP yet, actually.
So he's perhaps going to fight down and bank on level 13 containing... Well, he's using a hurt more, so maybe he's just getting information on the way down.
It may not be a play with no heal more and no real good defense. It might just be better to walk through. I mean, that Armored Knight is tough. He hits you by a lot, so you're popping out to heal quite a bit. It takes a lot of time. This might be just as efficient.
Well, we can watch because Highspirits is also in grind mode, and he has chosen the Armored Knight here. So he's going to go back to the town that's just a few steps away to heal up. But he has chosen the Armored Knight grind, while Jackimus is doing more of a Sharlock grind. So we'll see which of those two seems to gain experience points faster.
Part of that may depend on the enemies that are retrieved. Each zone, I believe, will have 5 enemies available. We saw Axe Knights, Star Wyverns, and Armor Knights so far on Jackimus's side. Axe Knight's one of the best enemies for EXP gain. Star Wyverns, usually 1 hurt more is enough, and if not, you can usually whack them afterwards. Armor Knights, though, they're a bit trickier.
Yeah, as soon as he goes down these next set of stairs, he'll actually be in a new zone as well. So he probably wants to at least look and see what's in that zone on this trip.
Weird thing with Datyedyeguy, he had it's the number is climbing, but he was sitting at about 12,000 gold. So I'm not sure if that was a gold grind that went awry, but he's continually diving the mountain cave right now, and I think he's picking up gold to get the shield, is what I think is happening there.
Level up for Jackimus. Looks like decent levels, and alright. I think you can be nice to me. It's not a level 16 heal more.
No, this might not even be an hour seed.
Oh, if he just picked up heal more there, he did pick up some MP as well. I think he has the stats to try it on level 13.
Yeah, he's gonna be...
Agility's pretty low, so I think part of that poking into Charlock was to see if the agility would be a problem. Because if you have too many red dragons and armored knights, it'll be hard to run away. But I think that was part of what he was doing there, because it is a low agility seed, and he now has the stats. The agility is somewhat optional if you can just make it down to the bottom. So I think he's going for it right here.
That's tough. This is a tough call for me. I don't know that I would dive this.
Well, he's running from the Star Wyvern. I think he's going for the Dragon Lord.
Oh, I 100% agree that Jackimus is diving this. But I don't know. It seems iffy to me.
He does have that reputation, so I'm not surprised.
It's extremely gutsy. I mean, he's probably a little less than 50% to actually, probably more than 50% to actually beat the Dragon Lord with the statistics, just because the MP is as low as it is. Only 10 heal mores and an attack range of 8 to 17. The Dragon Lord having 150 to 165 hit points. So
he can actually do it with that attack power, though. It's just that well, it's really close, but he could do it. Problem is this armored knight. This armored knight is in the first zone, and he's just not letting him run away right now. The low agility is it's very difficult to just get there with all your magic if you run into the armored knight and the red dragon. Those are the two enemies basically that will prevent you from getting away the most.
And now he's deciding to not make the dive and is just deciding to grind on the enemies here. And the Hangry Canuck, level 13, did in fact have heal more. It's just Jackimus's agility, even with the strength agility build, is so low that getting away from the enemies here in Charlock Castle is so challenging that he's not even going to make it down there. And even here, not even making it, escaping a stone man, and is now sent back to the castle.
Yeah, he should at least be using sleep on the stone man. Oh, they don't have the sleep spell yet. Wow. Okay, so that's interesting. And the other thing is it's not as many experience points between levels 13 and 14 as it will be later on in the game. So I would guess with all that, he just figured try and get 14 and then see how he stands from there.
I think LordOfTheSynth is in grind mode as well. Looks like he's got all the equipment he needs and everything to make a grind out of this, and I think that's what he's doing in this desert.
We still have a chance for a sub-hour seed here. This has been a sprint between these four guys. They're all doing a nice job of getting into endgame mode as quickly as possible.
Did we miss LordOfTheSynth pick up Erdrick's token?
He may not have done that. I know Datyedyeguy I don't believe has done that yet either, if I recall. And he doesn't have Datyedyeguy doesn't have the armor yet, at least by tracking. Not 100% sure on that.
Well, Highspirits just took a look at his stats. Is staying at the inn in Rimmildar, and I don't know if he's replenishing to make a dive or to try to grind to 14.
Yeah, remember, Highspirits does have the Silver Shield, which helps a little bit, but he's still not defense breaking any Sharlock enemies. With a 58 agility score, that dive is going to be horrific for him. The Datyedyeguy is using Gwaelin's Love here to zero in on this token, so he'll have that soon.
Just one step down.
And one or two
there.
more to go.
Highspirits has chosen not to go on 13. Just understands how bad that agility score is, and just isn't even going to bother.
Yeah, it's really close. The attack power makes it really tempting, but I just think you can't. There couldn't be any curveballs. You can't lose a heal more. You couldn't get back attacked, and you'd have to hope that it wasn't a full 165 hit points for DL2.
Yeah, as mentioned by Furon, even if you had full stats, it's still, you're not a favorite. You need like one more attack power point or one more heal more for him to be a favorite in that fight. So yeah, both runners choosing to go to 14, and Jackimus just got it there. Let's see what that is.
Holy moly.
Oh boy! I think we might pretty much be there.
Yeah, the coin flip went to all but certainty.
We could still have a sub 1 hour seed.
Double-headed coin.
So, up to, and I talk a lot about Death Necklace strats. Did they find one anywhere?
If they
The
went in
Death
the
Necklace
treasury,
was
then
in-
yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
it
where the
was in
Death
the
Necklace was. So all of our runners should have it.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I wasn't really
not
paying
required in this case. Just the attack power and MP is enough without it. But it's nice to have in your back pocket in case you have to burn several heal mores on these armored knights and red dragons on the way. Because remember, the agility score is not going to allow them to run away very easily.
No, but if I got down there and thought if I put 10 more hit points on it, it saved me a couple of turns, and I could save.
Well, remember
10,
on this
15 seconds.
On this level, Jackimus is going to end up at 96 hit points if he puts it on, whereas the other three will end up well over the threshold because they'll have more HP to work with because of the builds.
Yeah, Highspirits would be the one if he could definitely do it, assuming he gets 30, which he's about an armored knight away from getting.
Now, what the Death Necklace does here is, once it is put on, not only does it curse you, but it removes 25% of your max hit points in exchange for an additional 10 attack power.
And just to clarify, in this instance, it's not going to sway the fight either way, I don't think, but it makes for a faster fight.
Yeah, Jackimus could win this fight very easily without the Death Necklace because you don't need very many heal mores once you have 140 attack power, and 129 hit points allows for some double attacks on top of that as well. So it's just an extra option if like this armored knight among other armored knights causes him to burn. He would have to lose 5 or 6 heal mores for it to start to be a problem. So he's on his way.
I have a minor concern with 129 being the magic number. If we were to just use actual math, not necessarily NES-based math, it goes to 96.75. Does it round down or round up?
It does round down.
Which means 130 would be the preferred one. The reason why is because 96 is 2 times 48. 48 is the best you can reduce a Dragon Lord to Fire Breath attack.
Right.
Yeah, 130 would be preferred. And even 97 even is not always that comfortable because you could have some situations where you don't get a full heal more roll and you still have to double heal. So
Well,
the more hit points, the better in a lot of cases.
And Jack's defense is low enough that 48 may not be the max, I believe.
Check out the difference in builds. Highspirits has 11 more hit points than Jackimus on the same level. So when he uses the Death Necklace, he'll have a comfortable HP total, 75% of 140, putting him well into the green.
Then you also see that the agility build didn't save Jackimus. I mean, he's not... me personally, and maybe this is overkill, but I aim for 78 to 80 defense power. So I would still go if I were Jack now, but he's under where I would feel comfortable.
Yeah, if he gets there on this level, 74 defense power, the Dragon Lord is capable of hitting him physically for 51 damage. Of course, It's only about 2% chance per damage point, so there's like a 6% chance that he'll do 49 or more in this case. So if he happens to want to take a swing at 49, you know, he has about a 6% chance of dying. So he will, and you know, if he does use the Death Necklace, he will have that type of decision to make quite often. I expect him to not use the Death Necklace here.
Yeah, I don't think...
Go ahead.
Will.
Stone Man was the Guardian, and Jackimus is soon going to be called a fool.
Highspirits has to burn one of his heal mores here.
Oh my goodness, Jackimus attempted to run from that Armored Knight with 30 hit points. He has plenty of MP to spare here. That was kind of risky. Yeah, the Armored Knight is not going to let you run away all the time. So anyways, he got through that. He used a couple of herbs, and he is going to attempt a sub-hour run here. Let's see how fast he can defeat this Dragon Lord.
Jackimus being risky. Would you expect nothing less, though?
He is a risk taker, and you can see that oftentimes it pays off for him.
Well, let's find out
Get
now.
back attacked.
Oh, that's not a good feeling.
Even though he was
got
down
10
to
heal
more, I
mores
think
left,
he's
but
still,
hitting an average of 10 to 20.
I think he's still a heavy favorite here. High
Should be good
Spirits is
in
halfway
either
down.
really, really low rolls or a miss, some sort of a miss key.
In the meantime, Highspirits is making his way through Sharlock. Datyedyeguy is back in Hawksness, and LordOfTheSynth is about to get the rainbow drop. I think. I do not see a dialogue there.
Assuming that went all right, both of those runners are, you know, within 15 minutes of being done as well, so we could definitely see all 4 runners being done in 75 minutes. Which is pretty ridiculous overall.
Jackimus has done it.
Jackimus has done it.
I actually rolled a sub-hour possible seed. I feel kind of strange about this. But folks, get your GGs out in chat. We are about to get an official SRL time shortly.
Vindication for you, Wolfman. Very nice seed we had here.
58-16, the official SRL time.
There was a brief pause by Highspirits, checking to see who just done. And now onward.
Now remember,
Oh, yeah.
this is not a quad race. This is one-on-one. So Jackimus did defeat the Datyedyeguy, and it's now Highspirits against Lord of the Synth. Lord of the Synth now getting the rainbow drop, as Highspirits is about to take on the Dragon Lord. And it feels weird seeing that Talon sprite, to see Talon talk to the Dragon Lord.
Even Highspirits, who had 140 hit points, chose not to use the Death Necklace here. So, just playing it safe.
Jackimus will join the interview section in a few moments, folks. Or those few moments may be much quicker than expected. We're finding out shortly. In the meantime, Highspirits against Dragon Lord 2 on a very fast seed.
Lord of the Synth is making his way into Sharlock on level 12, so wondering what he has planned here. The Datyedyeguy going back for more keys. I'm not totally sure what he would need the keys for at this point, but refreshing his keys and getting ready for endgame.
And it looks like we have a Jackimus in chat. Jackimus, GG, congrats on the sub-hour seed.
Thanks, buddy. How's you going tonight?
It's going fantastic. Cheers, mate.
Right on, right on. I won a thing.
So real quick, Jackimus, about the end game. What did you think about trying it on 13? It looked like you were on your way, and then you took a U-turn and decided to get 14.
The agility was too low to get down there, with reliable odds of a quick level. Am I coming through okay?
You most certainly are. We've been having some technical issues here, so it's been a four-person commentator team, so I think it's everybody worrying about stepping on one another here.
Oh. Well, why don't all you cool folks introduce yourselves to me one by one, because I don't know who's talking.
Well, I would be Ferran Burgundy.
Yeah, I know you, bud. Who else we got?
Hey, this is Up to NG. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Are you up to no good again tonight?
So far, so good.
Nice, nice.
Highspirits has finished as well, just behind you.
Well, congratulations to Highspirits. I guess, so how does this quad thing work? Is it like 2 different races at once, I guess?
It is. So you had the victory over Datyedyeguy, and Highspirits just finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 1 minute, and 26 seconds is going to get the victory over Lord of the Synth.
That's a pretty good time for that seed, I got to say.
So you wrapped it up in under an hour. Were there any challenges to speak of for you, or how were you feeling throughout the seed? You started with a pretty good strength score, so it seemed like it was fast right from level 1. What did you think about it along the way?
Well, I didn't really know I had high strength because I never checked my stats at the start of these anymore, so I found that out maybe 3 or 4 minutes in when I actually tried to attack something the first time. But, yeah, high strength gets you a few quick levels, early hurt more, my kind of seed, you know?
Yeah, and it looked like you never bothered with a gold grind because you found armor pretty quickly. I think most of the other runners, it took a little while longer for them to get that armor, so they ended up doing a grind. I guess for you, you just felt like it wasn't worth your time once you had armor.
Yeah, pretty much. I basically found all the caves before I found all the towns, so that might have had something to do with not bothering grinding for gold as well. I'd be kind of retreading old ground at that point.
Yeah, there's lots of caves. Took forever to find a town, but those caves are easy to find.
Welcome, High Spirits.
As well, yes.
Congratulations.
Are
Thank
you in
you.
high spirits tonight, good sir?
You too, man. You got the sub one. I was so close.
Congratulations on winning your half of the race, High Spirits.
And congratulations to you too.
So was there anything that you thought was challenging or interesting about the seed High Spirits, despite how quickly it went for you?
Yeah, I was praying that I was going to be able to run away from everything on the way down. That was pretty much it. You know, it took forever to find towns. And I would have probably finished a lot faster if every time I tried to go south of Gerringham to find where Hawksness and Rimildar was, I didn't keep running into red dragons. That kept me from going down there until the very end, and then I finally got down there, and you know, I was able to rock it to 14 and finish the seed. But those stupid red dragons kept blocking me.
Yeah, I noticed that. They were the one enemy out there that was kind of sending you guys back sometimes. It looked like when you got 14, though, it was kind of one of those magic levels, so you had a whole bunch of heal mores to spare. So I figure, you know, the agility seed played less of a role there, the low agility. But did you have any thought at all about trying it on 13, or you just knew your agility was too low?
Oh yeah, I was considering it. I took a minute to think about it, and then decided that because I was such a low level and I had such a great grinding spot, it wasn't going to take me long to get to 14. So I said, I'll just do one more.
And it was interesting, the options of where to grind. You had gone, I believe it was into Hawk's Nest, wasn't it, High Spirits? And Jackimus kind of just roamed and decided to grind and roam in a sense, and it really was more of a nomadic grind.
Well, yeah, not having heal more forever and being basically, well, I wasn't naked, but you know, I had the gold grind, but everything was hitting so hard because we had no agility, so there was only so much grinding I could do on the road with no heal more.
So it looked like for me, and Jackimus, you can correct me if I'm wrong, looks like when you were around level 12 or so, you chose to kind of take a couple of stabs into Sharlock for your grind. It looked like maybe you were trying to see what was in the first couple of zones in case you did have to dive down with low agility. Maybe like, let's see what's in there. And was that part of your thought, or were you just trying to get experience in Sharlock at that point?
Mostly I was just annoyed that the armored had heal more. I found that out. I decided Hawks perhaps not the best spot for that. But yeah, the first zone in Sherlock wasn't the greatest. It's all high experience enemies, so it wasn't just sit there and give them a couple quick levels to off.
To continue the introductions for a second, Jackimus, this is Wolfman2000, Restreamer and Backup Com. Can you speak up just a little bit more? I don't know if the folks at home heard you there.
I am speaking up. Can you hear me?
No, you're doing it wrong. You gotta be more natural, you know? It has to let it flow out of your mouth.
Dude, you were talking to the wrong guy if you want words to flow out of my mouth.
Just pretend it's beer, Jackimus. You'll be all fine.
But beer stays inside my body. It's not good when beer...
Now he ate the microphone.
Well, I'm actually, like, eating my cell phone, because that's what I'm using here.
Yeah, it looks like JJ Schmid 77 was on comms as well. I think his mic is muted in Discord right now, so. But there were 4 of us in here at one time or another. That was a lot of fun. It was a fun race to watch you guys. You guys did an expert job getting through a pretty quick seed. You're both 1-0, moving on to face most likely another 1-0 opponent.
Oh, is this tournament a Swiss thingy again, then?
Indeed, it is a Swiss thingy again, then. It's going to be a 5-round Swiss thingy.
Yeah,
oh, man,
so...
we'll be playing this until, like, December at this rate.
Only if you keep winning. I mean, you have to get by me still.
Well, I technically got
challenge
past
being
it today, so I mean, you know,
Obviously, I would have done different
Big
strategies if it was against you. Okay, I was playing my opponent, and you weren't my opponent. Okay, please.
Smack talk is encouraged. I love it.
But I mean, looking at the field just for next week alone, which will, I believe, at the conclusion of the race here, will, I believe, be working toward the release of the second round matchups that'll be coming up over the course of the week here. But I mean, some of the other 1-0 opponents, there really aren't any breathings of sighs of relief here. I mean, looking at some of the names out there, I mean, between the Seawolf 1, Sation, Azrael Ravenheart, Tristal, Angry Larry, Ouija Wee, right here in chat up to NG, or right here in the commentator booth for that matter. Zarnax, Mr. Holmes, Nest Cardinality, Silverfire, so JJ as well. There's a lot of talent out there. There's no no pick it up, it's a gimme at this point.
What's nice is you only have to win 3 out of 5 in the beginning, so if you kind of feel like you got unlucky in your matchup and face someone really tough or something, there's always next week right now. So, but it's nice. It's nice to be 1-0. So congrats to you guys on that. Furon, we are having the next round matchups on this stream right now after the race.
That's what I'm working on getting set up. We'll take a quick siesta here with Wolfman, and we'll screen share off me, and I'll get them rolled out before we sign off.
Sweet.
All right, just another reason here to stick with us here on Randomania 2.
So, Jack, you ever seen 25 starting strength before?
Oh, was it 25 to start?
Yeah, we had 20. That's why we're hitting so hard to start. We started with 25 strength.
I don't think I've seen it that high before. Like, I don't usually check my stats at the start, because that's like 5 seconds that I don't want to waste.
We got an interesting race for third going on here, too. Looks like LordOfTheSynth is in, and the Datyedyeguy is on his way.
Looks to me like the Datyedyeguy is not convinced that level 14 is enough. It's fighting some more monsters on the way.
The Datyedyeguy was knocked out of the bottom floor of Sharlock by an armored knight, so it's hard to... I haven't memorized the map path, but if the Datyedyeguy is actually going to Sharlock, then there's just a lot of enemies spawning. I just had to say it again, didn't I?
I think you guys had enough so that you could have burned several heal mores if you did get blocked by those armored knights, but maybe he burned one too many, and then that was it. I don't know. But he's going back into Sharlock.
Oh, yeah,
well, level 14, yeah, you got a lot to play with.
I think I had, like, almost 40 MIPs left at the end of the race, and I burned a couple heal mores on the way down. It was, yeah, you win. Just go get it over with. Yeah,
same for me. I was thinking about putting the death necklace on, too. I was like... Nah, I don't want to go overkill. But, man, he hit me for 48 like 4 or 5 times with physicals. I mean, he was wailing on me.
Yeah, that was the main reason why I didn't throw it on either. My max hips were 129 because I went with agility. And I knew that the defense was below 86, so there's always a chicken roll like 49, even 50. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just take the extra 3 rounds of combat, whatever.
Yeah, I had 140 health, so I had a much better idea if I wanted to use it or not, but I didn't think it was worth the damage for how hard he was going to hit, because 82 defense, he could hit for 49.
Yeah, I probably rolled in with mid-70s on defense, because I never bothered with the silver shield.
Yeah, you had 74, it looks like, from the tracker.
The tracker knows all.
Oh yeah, those stats on the screen, look at that. Those beautiful green and orange and white stats.
Hey, Highspirits, are you okay? I thought I heard screaming in the background.
Oh, you mean the kids outside? Ugh, that's what I gotta deal with. Once school comes back in session in a month.
All you have to do is train them to pick up the sword and avoid some star wyverns, and they should be good.
They had Dragon Lord breath. That wasn't fun. Because you couldn't run from anything, and everything back attacked you, so...
One step at a time. Lord of the Synth is back on the final floor of Sharlock.
Get her done, son. Alright, cool. It was nice chatting with you guys. Need to go grab more beers, so take her easy. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, see you. GG, man.
Good plan. GG and cheers.
Let's go, Bruins!
Sorry.
Is he allowed to say that and then just exit the chat? I don't know.
It was a little late for me to attempt to do anything. For now, let's just, we're seeing a Death Necklace play.
Death Necklace here for Lord of the Synth. Here we go.
I like it.
Hit him hard. So mystery solved. He ends up at 104 according to the game. 105 according to our tracker, I suppose. I don't know. But 104 is still pretty comfortable, even if you are going to get the high physicals. So he should be through this fight in a matter of moments. The Datyedyeguy is almost at the bottom.
Oh, and Jackimus left a comment at the end of the race. I will not repeat it.
Always fun to have JackimusWedge as part of the tournament. I always enjoyed his races, and we'll get him on comms here eventually as well. I always enjoy that as well. So
that is always classic, to say the least. And I don't know. I would respond, but my team of choice hasn't exactly done anything in what, 43 years now.
Let's not even get into the team that I am supposed to represent.
No, we're not going there.
Thank you. Lord of the Synth, 5 heal mores left.
should be about 1 or 2 hits away because he's swinging hard with that Death Necklace. Any of these hits could be the one. There's that 49 physical.
And a 24 to finish.
Big swinging.
Alright, congratulations for Lord of the Synth. He's going to finish this up in a very strong time. Get the final numbers for you momentarily.
Oh, come on, Princess Gwaylin.
That's the worst 2 seconds of the entire run. Every time I have to sit through that at the very end.
But thou must. So, Lord of the Synth finishing with the official SRL time, 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 32 seconds.
I saw one of our newer runners earlier this week had the princess, kind of forgot, and then did a dot done. The princess was kind of like, it was still like on the dialogue, so then he has to do like a dot undone. And then he's gonna hit the button again and finish, and then dot done all over again.
I've done that
before. Just like, oh my gosh. So the Datyedyeguy is getting ready to wrap this up as well. It's getting close to the mini boss.
I'm just gonna vent on that. It's terrible. You're used to being able to dot done right at a specific point, and then it's like, wait, let me waste 3 more seconds. Right when your nerves are frayed and you want to get your time in. It's terrible. Hashtag leave Gwaylin.
That's awesome. Well, she is occasionally very useful, so can't be too hard on her. But yeah, I completely agree. It can be frustrating. Alright, Stoneman Mini Boss has crumbled into a pile of dust, and the Tie-Dye Guy is... Let's see if he's going to use it. He does! Thy body is being squeezed.
And as the Tie-Dye Guy is taking on the Dragon Lord, we have Lord of the Synth in the commentator's booth. GG.
Hey, great run, man.
GG.
So the first question that comes to mind for me, you know you're up against the top-notch spirits. Did you change any strategies at all coming into the seed?
Yeah, I was skipping some encounters I ordinarily wouldn't because I was trying to get an exploration edge, hoping that if I found a good grind spot, I would be able to make it up. And I was well aware by halfway through that I was probably at least a few levels behind.
Okay, that's an interesting gamble there. If you do make your way out far enough, and maybe you find like an early Erdrick sword or something like that, then you know, the exploration can really pay off.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, actually, starting out, like I went the right way to find a bunch of stuff, like the Grave, Sharlock, a bunch of towns. And then I did a couple stupid things. Well, I had some unfortunate wipes to red dragons and such, which cost me the magic armor. But fortunately, Erdrick's armor was right there in Hawksnest. I got the coordinates backwards, not writing them down for the token, but from where I should go on the map, and that certainly cost me a few minutes.
Ah, okay. I had not noticed that. Did you have to revisit Cantlin to double check it? The Tie-Dye Guy finishes up. He's going to be victorious in well under an hour and a half. Let's get a final time for him as well.
The final time, according to SRL, 1 hour, 21 minutes, 41 seconds. Get your GGs out in chat, everyone.
Very nice. Very nice race for all 4 runners. And we had a couple of great races tonight. That was fun to watch, and well done, Wolfman, for the seed roll there. That was good.
It's rare that I get to roll a fast one like this. I probably just needed the day off from rolling a seed yesterday after what happened 2 nights ago. My apologies to everyone there. In the meantime, we're about to get the Tie-Dye Guy in here. I'm going to let you 3 handle the interview for the most part because I need to set up the special round 2 seed pairings. So, please don't be surprised if your view looks a little bit different for a bit.
Well, there we are, a little peek behind the scenes of how some of the production works here to bring and present everything to you here among the Randomania networks. Much appreciated, Wolfman 2000. And we have the Tie-Dye Guy here in the chat. GG, a very, very impressive effort as far as the seed, able to get in under an hour and a half. What are your thoughts on it here?
Well, it was definitely interesting, you know, being a big powerhouse right at the beginning there with the high strength, and I don't know, I thought I was doing all right, but I guess I'm guessing my exploration kind of led me astray. But yeah, I'll have to look back at the VOD and see, you know, what I could do to improve on this for sure.
Yeah, you were facing head-to-head with Jackimus, and your paths did diverge quite a bit. Jackimus just so happened to find Erdrick's armor quite a bit faster than all 4 of the runners. It seemed like that propelled him forward with his exploration. And I don't know if you had any one thing that you were being held up on at the end trying to find it, but yeah, it seemed like you ran a good race all around.
Yeah, I feel like I did pretty good. It's just, you know, randomness, right? Sometimes you go the way where you get the armor and stuff. So, but it was good. Yeah, it's a fun seed, and I think it's a good seed for people who want to get started on it because there wasn't any real big, tough monsters, and even like the Armored Knight had baby breath, so he wasn't that scary.
So I guess the main challenge really would have been just at the very end. What were your thoughts about the low agility and having to try and dive down on that?
That was pretty tough. Like, you know, I think I made it with 1 hit to spare there at the end, but you burn all my herbs and everything just to make it down to the bottom. I'm sure I might have been able to fight down a couple of the guys versus running, but I wasn't expecting it to be as tough as it was at the end there. But yeah, it was interesting. I think that was one of the harder points. Cause yeah, nothing else was really a challenge throughout the seed.
I don't know if we still have LordOfTheSynth. What did you think about the same question there? It seemed like that was the hardest part, was just getting through Sharlock.
Yes, as you can see at the end of my race, I was doing some grinding on Golem, and I hit 13, and I left, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have 11 heal mores, so I'll go back and grind for level 14, which I'm glad I did, because with the RNG I had down there, yeah, I would have wiped a Dragon Lord on 13.
Yeah, well, 13 had that big HP and MP boost, and then it was easy with the Death Necklace. It's easy to equip it then, so.
Yeah, it was funny. 13 was very marginal, and then 14 was like, okay, well, I guess I can use the Death Necklace now.
Yeah, all 4 of you actually finished on 14, and it seemed like Jackimus and Highspirits had mentioned that they did really seriously consider going on 13, but again, that agility score just isn't good enough based on what was in there, so they both kind of did a U-turn and just grinded 1 more level, so it's interesting that all 4 of you felt that way.
For me, it was defense, because I only had 79 defense power, which is an extra like 2 points on Dragon Lord attacks.
Yeah, the agility and defense was very low, even with the silver shield and everything. It was well below what I would normally like.
Yeah, seems like that can be kind of a double negative there, where you know, you're unable to run away from even some of the medium monsters sometimes, and then because of the defense, you're not defense breaking them either. So when they block you, they hit you for 20 or 25 instead of, you know, 1 or 2. So yeah, that was the tough stat there. Everything else seemed like it was pretty overpowered at 14.
Yeah, definitely.
Did anyone go like strength agility, or was everyone strength HP for the build?
Strength HP for me.
JackimusWedge was the only strength agility runner, so he ended at 129 hit points, so he just didn't even bother with the Death Necklace. I think you both used it. Highspirits, I think, decided not to. Just that it seemed optional for him at that point. He didn't burn too many heal mores on the way down, so. But yeah, so Jackimus had 11 less hit points by the end because of the agility build, but you know, might have had a slightly easier time running away from monsters and stuff on the way down. So yeah, he was the only one of the 4 went agility, but he was the one with the best time of the 4 as well. So you can see that sometimes that can be helpful.
Oh, definitely. Where the HP and strength is stacked like this, you know, the extra agility I think could have definitely helped.
And you guys both moved to 0-1, but we do have 5 rounds in this one, so you have plenty of time to get some wins on the board. I guess within a matter of a few more minutes, we're going to find out who everybody's matched up with. But Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts in general on that? You both still have confidence about getting some victories here going forward?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Highspirits is a tough opponent. I figured at best it was going to be close, a close loss. Although I'm always trying to win, but I figured it was at best going to be a close loss, and I'm still confident going forward with whoever I'm playing next.
Yeah, it's tough because the round one opponent is a totally random draw. So if you happen to get a powerhouse in round one, that's just kind of the way it goes. But now going forward, 0-1s most likely will face other 0-1s, and so that's kind of the beauty of ironing out the randomness of the early draw. By the time we get through, rounds 3, 4, and 5, you'll be matched up pretty closely with equal skill levels and to have some real competitive matches in the later rounds here, which is going to be fun. I'm interested to see what these round 2 matchups are going to be. I think that's going to be exciting to see that.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun, and yeah, I can't wait to see who my next opponent is. It's always fun racing this, so I'm not going to let one loss discourage me in the slightest.
And the Hangry Canuck noting in chat, and this is very apropos, there are powerhouses in the 0-1, in the bracket of 0-1 racers, and really just in the tournament overall, there aren't really any slouches necessarily. So whether you're 1-0 or 0-1, I mean, there's a lot of tough competition top to bottom.
Yeah, I know I've talked about it before, but this is as deep as a 42-player field gets, I feel like. I mean, there's names all over the place, and there's no one you particularly want to draw. For instance, I saw Will Wagner in chat a little while ago. I don't know if he's still in there, but up to, and I had a race last night that he was in that he took 4th in. And that was the first time I'd seen him play outside of his first round match, and he did really well. Even the unknown guys that are new to the game coming into this tournament are playing really well.
I think all I can really say is, Highspirits knocked me out of the Chaos tournament and beat me today, and neither of those losses were blowouts. So I feel like I can be competitive with pretty much anyone in the field.
I definitely agree with that statement. That is absolutely true. You were within, you and Datyedyeguy too, you were both within a level or two of your competition the whole time through. So rewatching the VOD, you'll see. It was very close all the way through.
Good deal.
All right, with that, let's give everyone some thanks and follows here. Highspirits, LordOfTheSynth, Datyedyeguy, and JackimusWedge for showing us how to take out the Dragon Lord with style, and for most of them, grace. Hard to tell with Jackimus, though, considering the discussions, but we'll go with that.
Thank you for watching, everyone. GG.
Of course, don't forget JJ Schmidt, up to NG, Ferran Burgundy for comms, as well as DarkRid12 and MathGirl718 for tracking. And now we have a special event. JJ Schmidt, are you ready?
Well, I'm ready to go. Not that this is going to look too flashy, but it'll get the job done.
Then, it is time for a scene change. We are about to do the round 2 reveal right about now. Should show up on screen.
Little blurry, but we'll get this done here. Yeah, so we've got our 21 winners from round 1. We've got our 21 losers from round 1, for a lack of a better term. And we're going to, obviously, we're going to separately randomize their order here and get fresh matchups. So there's, if I'm, not blurring anything in my mind right now, there should be 10 1-0 matchups. There should be 10 0-1 matchups, and there will be one match where a 1-0 will play an 0-1. So we're going to use, as we did to generate the first round, we're going to use random.org here to generate our next matches. So whoever is at the very bottom of the 1-0 list is going to match up with whoever's at the very top of the 0-1 list once we've got everything randomized. So I asked our winners, just for cheekiness in the chat, to give me a number between 1 and 5 as to how many times we're going to roll each group. So Jackimus for the 1-0 has picked 2 rolls, so I'm going to put them in here. I'm going to assume that's still right. It will give me a number list on the site here. And I'm sure the video is going to be a bit blurry, but that's all right. That's on my end. And so we'll get our matchups here. I'll kind of keep them on the right.
Names are on the list.
All right, so there's our 21 winners in the new order here. Should come up.
That is a strong list of winners. As we have the line breaks put in, here's what our matchups look like so far. Angry Larry against Mr. Holmes, Tyrannex against JackimusWedge, Owejawi versus Azrael Ravenheart, Edgeworth versus Zarnex, Lavkin versus Up2NG, The Alan Heffley versus JJ Schmidt, Sparkover versus Ryusation, Highspirits versus McGrew, Tristal MTG versus Nest Cardinality, Silverfire versus Centroid, and now we bring the other half. Lavkin, Seawolf is going to go up against an 0-1 person, top of the list.
So while I get this squared away for Ron, if you're still in here, anything stick out to you?
My audio is back. What's going on, guys?
No way, there's Up2. Anything stick out to you, Up2NG?
I've actually played a ton of casual races with Lavkin, so it's kind of amusing that we're paired up together.
Goody. Highspirits and McGrew, that's going to be a rematch from, I believe, the one of the quarterfinal or maybe semifinal matches of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Chaos tournament from earlier this year. Wow, Lavkin and Up2NG. Well, I guess we'll get his thoughts on that in just a moment here. And JJ, you've got the Alan Heffley, who, in an unintended way, kind of got a bye here, or at least a bye into 1-0. In that his opponent was, I guess, was unavailable at the time of the scheduling. So I guess, yeah, there's not much of a sample size to be able to take on that. Lavkin noting in chat that he's super hyped for his match against Up2NG. Yeah, all of these just look fantastic right off the bat here. Sparkover and Ryu, that's, man. knowing both of them as well as I do, that one should be right down to the wire. And then Edgeworth and Zarnax, yeah, that's another goodie here. I mean, they're just top to bottom.
Tristle, that Nest Cardinality.
Yeah, Nest Card and Tristle, that I think is going to be huge here. The Alan Heffley asking if he and oh gosh, asking if Zelda 2 can be played in its place. Apparently,
I don't know if I dig that.
I didn't realize the Dragon Lord could turn into the Thunderbird. I must have missed that.
So I guess the Demon Knight would also be Dark Link. Who knows?
Anyway,
that Tristle Nest Cardinality match, though, that could easily be a semi-final matchup in the bracket or a final matchup. So that's great. That's a crazy good matchup for round 2.
Yeah, we'll see if Tyrannex can continue the winning ways. Continuing the upset train here as. After taking out Game Boy in round 1, can he now go after Jackimus, who just finished here with the fastest time of all the different runners, including a couple who ran on speed hacks?
I still can't believe I rolled the near equivalent of Angry Larry's speed hack run. Anyway, those who were defeated in round 1 are now placed in the list. How many times are we going to randomize this one?
I'm gonna click it 4 times here. There we go. So Datyedyeguy is going to get the Seawolf here, who was my opponent from round 1 and gave me a dang good race.
So Seawolf versus Datyedyeguy against Tilo. Amazing Toaster versus Eternal Newbie. Retro Omega X versus LordOfTheSynth. Bent Glass Tube versus the Hangry Canuck. Game Boy F9 versus WMD88. Chitin 619 against Shilesia. BTs against J. Coper. Captain Green 7 versus Z-Man. It's Too Early versus Will Wagner Music. And last but certainly not least, Janice Zeal versus Synth Pop is back.
Wow, we got some great matchups on both sides. It's going to be that much more tension for the 0-1s to try and get a win under their belt in round 2. And some of the 1-0 matchups look fantastic.
Yeah, BT's and J. Coper is the one that easily sticks out to me there. And that's, again, that's a crazy good matchup and one that could be a bracket matchup down the line.
We saw all sorts of chatter throughout the week about people saying, well, I really just hope I don't get Game Boy F9. And the lucky racer is WMD88. So there you go.
Apparently, he predicted it.
Which I think he drew Mr. Holmes in the first round. So that is my apologies out to you, WMD.
Oh, man. Sounds like an easy path to the brackets, huh? Mr. Holmes and then Game Boy F9. Nice.
A very uphill battle, to say the least. But all it takes is one step. The first step, I suppose.
And I agree with JJ on the Tristle Nest Cardinality match. I am going to circle the date on that one and make sure that I watch it. That's an amazing second round matchup. So the randomness within the groupings here has given us some interesting ones for sure.
So we'll get this loaded up in the spreadsheets. Feel free to start scheduling these matchups. Highspirits, I think, is going to be the admin on demand next week, but obviously any of us, and Wolfman, can't thank you enough, Wolfman, how much work you put in this week to get as many racers restreamed as you did. All that work's appreciated, man.
Not a problem. Remember, folks, if you wish to help out, even if you don't get the chance to play much, we welcome anyone who wishes to be a commentator, tracker, or restreamer. Just head on to the Discord link that Ferran Burgundy has just put up there, speak to one of us, and we can get you caught up to speed on how you can help broadcast some of these matches yourself.
Yeah, every little bit helps. That is most certainly appreciated. And any kind of contribution in the production and presentation that we bring to you here among the Randomania networks.
We already have one person interested. Angry Canuck will talk later this week. So yeah, we have 21 excellent matches to watch out for, so oh boy. I will not be able to watch them all, but hopefully there will be plenty of stories to share. Any final thoughts from the rest of you here before we sign off?
Just thank you very much again for the restream, Wolfman, and thanks for Ron and Up2 for joining me here in comms, and thanks for putting this together on the fly to get the next matchups, Ron. And thank the trackers too. Thanks, Math Girl and Dark Kid, I believe is how it's pronounced.
Dark Rid. Yep, I mean, these are two of our newer trackers, but they have done an excellent job so far. And again, if you want to help with tracking, just come on by and we'll get you caught up.
Yeah, it was kind of a challenging venture in that a quad match or four kind of going at the same time. You can see even with three and at a brief period 4 commentators as well as 2 trackers that things tend to be missed just because of all the action going on. Normally these are one-on-one matchups that you'll see just 2 runners in each particular setting here, and so Jackimus proving why you should give him a follow as far as his entertainment value just in chat alone. So yeah, make sure to do that here, and yeah, give all of our runners a follow, not just Jackimus, but also Datyedyeguy, LordOfTheSynth, and Highspirits, as well as all the names that you see up there on the display, and you can check out their matches and their streams as well, all throughout Twitch.tv. And make sure to also give a follow to, as I mentioned, the trackers. Yeah, DarkRid12 and MathGirl718 doing a fantastic job behind the scenes. Wolfman2000 doing yeoman's work here, getting everything together. And for my co-commentators, JJSchmidt77 and Up to NG, until next time, I'm Ferran Burgundy saying may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. So long, everyone.
I will take us over to Randomania 1 now for the conclusion of the Zelda 1 Randomizer Battle Royale. So stay tuned for a different type of RPG. Until then, watch out for Dragon Lord 2 Breath, everyone. Good night.